Hello and welcome. When it comes to healthy aging, sometimes it feels like you need a dictionary just to keep up with all the terms. We hear these buzzwords thrown around all the time, but what do they actually mean for us? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to decode the key words that really, truly matter for your health. So let's dive right in.
First things first, let's talk about that one little device most of us use to check in on our health, the bathroom scale. We step on it, we see a number, and that number dictates our mood for the day. But what if I told you that number isn't telling you the whole story? What if, in fact, it's actually misleading you? And this right here is exactly why. See, when we talk about weight loss, that's just the total number going down. But that drop could be anything: water, muscle, fat, who knows? What we should be laser focused on is fat loss. Why? Because preserving your muscle as you get older is absolutely essential for your strength, your metabolism, really, your overall health. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to go beyond the scale and see why where you store fat matters so much. We'll look at some new health metrics, get to know your body's amazing engine, jump into the diet debates, and then tackle the crucial topic of fighting muscle loss, before wrapping it all up with a clear health takeaway for you. All right, first up, let's officially move past that simple number on the scale. Because science is telling us loud and clear, it's not just how much fat you're carrying, but where your body is storing it that can make a massive difference to your health risks. And the key phrase here is central adiposity. Now, this isn't the fat you can pinch on your belly. No, this is the sneaky stuff. It's called visceral fat, and it's packed deep inside, wrapped around your vital organs like your liver and your pancreas. And having a lot of this specific fat is a huge red flag for your metabolic health. So if the scale can't see this dangerous fat, and even old school metrics like BMI aren't great at it, then what should we be using? We need a better tool, a more accurate way to understand our real risk. And here it is. Say hello to the waist to height ratio, or WHTR for short. It's so simple, but study after study has shown it's way more effective at predicting the health risks that come from that central fat than BMI ever was. And you know what the best part is? You can do this at home, like right now. Just grab a tape measure, measure your waist, measure your height, and then divide your waist number by your height number. The general rule of thumb, backed by a ton of research, is to keep your waist circumference less than half of your height. That gives you a nice healthy ratio of 0.5 or less. Just look at this chart. It really spells it out, doesn't it? When it comes to actually predicting your health risk, WHTR is the clear winner. It gives you a much more accurate signal of what's really going on inside your body. The takeaway is simple. We've got to measure what matters. Okay, let's shift gears. I want you to think about your body's metabolism like a really sophisticated hybrid car engine, one that can cleverly switch between different fuel sources. This amazing ability actually has a name, and understanding it is a total game changer for your health. It's called metabolic flexibility. A healthy, flexible metabolism is brilliant. It can burn carbohydrates for quick energy when you're, say, going for a brisk walk, and then it can seamlessly switch right over to burning fat for fuel when you're resting or between meals. That adaptability is a true sign of great metabolic health. So what gums up the engine? Well, a big part of the problem seems to be ultra-processed foods. When our diet is constantly hammering our system with refined carbs and sugars, it creates these massive glucose spikes. Over time, that just wears the system out, and it can get kind of stuck in carb-burning mode, making it much harder to access its fat stores for energy. And naturally, this leads us straight into the big, confusing, and often controversial world of diets. With all this concern about refined carbs, low-carb diets have just exploded in popularity. So let's take a look at the evidence, from the moderate approaches all the way to the extremes. Okay, this is really fascinating. In one study, they compared a low-carb, high-fat diet to a standard low-fat diet for 15 weeks. And get this, the low-carb group lost way more of that dangerous visceral fat we were just talking about. They also lost more of what's called android fat, which is just that fat stored around your middle. This suggests that cutting carbs can be a really effective tool for targeting that specific risky fat. So that makes you wonder, right? If cutting back on some carbs is good, is cutting back on all of them even better? I mean, how far is too far? Where's the line? Well, let's look at one of the most extreme examples out there, the carnivore diet, where you eliminate all plants. A case study that modeled this diet raised some pretty serious flags. Just look at this chart. Fiber, you're getting less than 1 gram when the goal is 25 to 30. And it can also fall way short on other key nutrients like calcium and vitamin C. In fact, the full analysis identified a pretty long list of micronutrients that could become a real problem over the long haul, not to mention the complete lack of protective compounds you can only get from plants. So the big picture here seems to be that while lots of different diets can work, making sure your diet is nutritionally complete has to be priority number 1. All right, we're on to our final keyword. And I have to say, for anyone interested in healthy aging, this might be the most important battle we'll talk about today. It's a fight for our strength, for our independence, and for our quality of life. We're talking about muscle. The clinical name for it is sarcopenia. It's the slow, progressive loss of muscle and strength that happens as we get older. And as you can see from this definition, this is not just a cosmetic thing. It has very real, very serious consequences. It's directly linked to a higher risk of falling, breaking bones, and losing your physical independence. And let's just put that in real-world terms. Muscle is what lets you get up out of a load share. It's what lets you carry in the groceries, play with your grandkids on the floor, and, crucially, catch your balance if you stumble so you don't have a devastating fall. Fighting sarcopenia is all about protecting your ability to live your life, fully on your own terms. So how do we fight back? What's our number one weapon? The research is unbelievably clear on this. This quote from a major scientific review really says it all. Getting enough dietary protein is absolutely critical. Protein gives your body the amino acids, the essential building blocks that it needs to repair and build muscle tissue. Wow, okay, we have covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From belly fat and hybrid engines to diet debates in the fight for our muscle. So let's pull all these threads together now and build a simple, resilient strategy you can actually use. Here it is, your 4-point action plan. Number 1, measure what really matters. Use your waist-to-height ratio, not just the number on the scale. 2, fuel for flexibility. That means choosing whole, real foods over the ultra-processed stuff. 3, protect your muscle. Make it a priority to get enough protein in your diet every single day. And finally, number 4, seek balance, not extremes. A healthy diet is one that gives your body everything it needs to thrive. You see, with these concepts, you're empowered. You can have a much smarter, more productive conversation about your health. It's not just about a single number anymore. It's about building a body that's resilient, strong, and vibrant for all the years ahead. Your body is always listening, always adapting to the signals you send it. So the only real question left is, what are you going to tell it to do next?